Luffy gets his powers from a devil fruit stored in an open chest on top of the table. Shanks loses his arm protecting Monkey D. Luffy. Shanks then rewards Luffy with his straw hat. Buggy the Clown insecure about his nose? Shushu the little dog keeps the whole town from going after Luffy and his crew. Buggy hates Shanks for saving him from drowning?
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we're that anime couple. And today we're bringing you guys Orange Town episode 4 through 8. Luffy's past, enter red-haired Shanks, episode 4. I really like this episode. We kind of get an introduction into Luffy's past. We understand why he is how he is, and like who his inspiration is. So what did you think of like Shanks and everyone on his crew there?
Yeah, this was a great episode to give like the background of red-haired Shanks.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It got me more involved in the anime because now I'm starting to get the backstory of some main characters. So I really enjoyed this episode. I think this episode was my favorite episode of the whole arc.
I would agree.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of just nailing in like kind of where Luffy came from, and we get to see him getting his devil fruit, the Gum Gum fruit, which is actually pretty funny how he gets it there.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
It was legitimately sitting on top of a bar table. Like Shanks left it in an open chest.
Super careless.
Like very careless. And I was like, really? That's how Luffy gets his devil fruit power? I was expecting something more elaborate, I guess.
An adventure or something.
Yes. Yeah. So that surprised me, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It had like a good flow. I don't know. It was, I liked it.
A nice, simple, short, and sweet.
And then we get Nami in the beginning tricking Buggy's pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And
which I actually really did like this scene because like she fools them into coming onto her ship looking for treasure, and then she dips them, leaves them on the ship, and then tells them that a storm's coming, which is something a navigator would know, and something like kind of someone that's attuned with the weather would see.
And we start seeing even more of her manipulative personality of tricking people to kind of get what she needs.
Yes. Yeah.
Which at the time when I was watching this, I didn't understand why she was so manipulative. I almost started thinking like, is she good? And but obviously I know more.
Yeah.
I have seen Arlong Park, so now I understand more of why she's
why she's
like
being kind of so underhanded with these pirates here.
And that kind of leads into where Luffy gets his qualities from, because we meet, as we talked about earlier, we meet Shanks.
Yeah.
So when meeting Shanks, I was like, wow, this guy's a lot like Luffy.
Yeah.
But a little different.
Well, the introduction of Shanks is interesting because we get to see him in a bar, which is like the first scene. So it kind of sets up like he's more of the party pirate. He takes things a lot like less serious and he's more like relaxed.
But I started seeing like the similarities between Luffy and him. But it's funny because I thought Luffy is really laid back so far. Yeah. And when watching this, he's even more laid back than Luffy. And Luffy actually looks a little hot-headed in this flashback compared to Shanks. And I found that very interesting.
Like with the scene where where the mountain bandits came in and they're like looking for sake, and then there's none because Shanks and his crew drank it all. And Shanks actually offers the guy his sake, and then he ends up breaking it over the bar and gets Shanks all wet. And Luffy gets pissed off at Shanks and like tells him he's not a man and stuff.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting seeing Luffy in this more like younger, more of just like more foolish than normal.
Yeah.
And it started showing me that Shanks is probably Luffy's father figure.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. If there's one pirate that Luffy looks up to, it's red-haired Shanks.
And Shanks ends up giving Luffy a quote.
Yeah. So,
and I know you want to talk more about that.
Yeah. So, and I really do like this. We have that whole scene where there's like the interchange with the mountain bandits in the bar. Yeah. We get to kind of see like Shanks' crew. Luffy then after goes to tell like the mountain bandits off. Yeah. They capture him and they're kind of just like picking at him. They have him tied up, and then Shanks' crew shows up. And I love this scene. This scene is like awesome.
I agree.
It shows like, Shanks can be like relaxed and everything, but if you're messing with one of his friends or a crewmate or somebody he cares about, you do not want to be on Shanks' bad side.
And I noticed Luffy's like this too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you start seeing these, and I enjoy that. I do
Yeah.
enjoy that. I love good father figure like characters.
Shanks
so.
definitely embodies that. But yeah, with this scene, like the whole thing that I really like is Shanks kind of goes up to the Mountain Bandit. He's like, "Let Luffy go," and the Mountain Bandit's crewmate pulls a gun on Shanks, and he's like telling him to back off. And Shanks has this great quote, which Luffy will later on say to Usopp, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
And Shanks says, "Would you risk your life now that you've drawn your pistol? Are you willing to use it? I'm saying that guns aren't for threats, they're for actions." And right when he says that...
Such a great quote.
Yeah, really. It's guns
good.
aren't for threats, they're for
and
actions.
Like, you can apply that, like, not that I go around and have a gun, but you can still, like, obviously, but like, you can still kind of apply that to your everyday life you can interpret it. You know?
It's if you're going to threaten something, you better be able to back it up.
Yes, I agree, 100%. So I really enjoyed this quote, and I enjoyed that Luffy really
took it to heart.
Yes, and it's a good quote.
Well, so the way that kind of ends is like we see the gun like trigger, and we think, oh my God, Shanks got shot, and then the camera kind of pans out, and we see Lucky Roo eating meat and holding a gun up, and this is actually the first confirmed kill in One Piece. Lucky Roo putting us up on the board there, and then they beat down the men with Ben Beckman, and they really have no trouble handling it.
But what about the way Luffy acts and kind of like overreacts and that monster shows up?
Yes.
And
so after that whole thing, the Mountain Bandit leader with an 8,000 berry bounty, big scary. He takes Luffy out to the sea, and he's like gonna feed him to the King of the Coast.
And Shanks actually comes and saves him.
Yes, which is a great scene.
My mouth just was like, because here you go, you have Shanks comes out, saves Luffy, legitimately gets his arm bitten off. Luffy's like, oh my gosh, your arm! And Shanks is like, I have another arm.
Yeah, I got another one.
And I was just like...
Shanks is a badass. Shanks is so cool.
Yeah, my jaw just dropped.
And then once Shanks does save Luffy, the King of the Coast turns around and come back at him, and Shanks scares him off with just like a stare. And he's like, I let you off easy taking my arm, but if you come at us again, you're done. And the King of the Coast just like runs away. Yep. Which is, I love that. It's great.
And then we get the end of the episode where Shanks gives Luffy his hat, and I thought this was great. Yeah,
and we get
symbolic.
that iconic scene of him putting his hat on Luffy's head, and he tells him to give it back to him when he's a great pirate, or he's become a great pirate. And then Shanks kind of sets off, and Luffy vows that one day he'll set off to sea with his own crew and be just as strong as Shanks.
Yeah.
So, episode 5, A Terrifying Mysterious Power, Captain Buggy, the Clown Pirate. I liked this episode, not quite as much as like the Shanks introduction, but I thought it was good.
We got a lot more into Nami's, like...
mysteries of Nami.
Yes, mysteries of Nami, and we start seeing more of Buggy.
Yes. So the episode was kind of more focused on Nami and Buggy.
Building them up.
Yeah, building them up. Kind of more of an introduction to Buggy and more breadcrumb clues for Nami.
Right.
And we get Luffy and Nami starting off talking. They discuss teaming up, and we get kind of an interesting backsight into Nami hating pirates here.
Yeah. So we get kind of a back and forth between Nami and Luffy. Nami at first kind of wants to partner up with Luffy, but I think it was more in a manipulative way, and Luffy was kind of like, at first he didn't really know her, so he was just like, nah. And then once Luffy finds out that Nami has navigational skills, he wants to then team up, and then Nami's kind of like, no, I hate pirates, because she finds out that Luffy's a pirate. I remember that she brings up how she hates pirates several times.
Oh, yeah.
And so you get, like, she hates them.
Oh, most definitely. And she'll, like, sprinkle, like, breadcrumbs throughout, and, like, we'll point out each one as we do come to them.
Right.
But it's interesting. Actually, the first interaction of this episode is Nami's kind of being chased away by the buggy pirates.
Yeah.
Luffy lands in front of her, and then she calls Luffy her boss. And then Luffy has to fight off the buggy pirates.
Right.
So from the get-go, Nami's manipulative. She's smart. She's quick on her feet.
Yes.
So she's very cool here. And what did you think of the introduction of Captain Buggy of the Buggy Pirates? personally, I really like Buggy, but I'm a little further ahead, so
Right.
my opinion of him is a bit different than what yours
for me,
will be.
I was a little underwhelmed with Buggy.
Okay.
I like Buggy. It's not like I hate his character or something like that, but I guess I just need to learn more about him before I'm like really like gung ho about him. As the episode gets going, I start liking him more. But in the beginning, I couldn't even remember his name. I kept messing it up. I kept calling him Buddy,
Buffy,
and then Chris is like, it's Buggy. Buggy the clown. And like, I don't know. So, and then we get kind of like a humorous moment where Buggy's insecure about his clown nose. And I thought this was so funny. I'm like, you're a clown. Like, why are you insecure about your clown nose?
Yeah, like just take it off. Well, actually, with that, I don't know if he can take it off.
I don't think he can. I think it's like his species.
Yeah.
Like, in a sense, species. I don't know how you want to like word it, but
well, you'll see that throughout One Piece.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different species.
Yes.
So for there to be a big red nose clan,
I don't think he can take it off. But like, your whole thing is you're a pirate.
Yeah.
I mean, not a pirate. You're a clown.
Pirate. Yeah.
You're a clown pirate. So like, of course you're gonna look like a clown and have a clown nose. But I don't know. I thought it was funny that he was insecure about his clown nose.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So Nami ends up joining his crew and manipulating Buggy into thinking that she wants to join his side and that she was only with Luffy because...
Well, pretty much she gets Luffy to agree to get tied up, and then she brings Luffy to Buggy.
Like, she manipulates both of them
she's
and
really
all of them.
She's really good. But to be fairly fair, Luffy's kind of naive and pretty easy to manipulate. But yeah, she ties him up, brings him to Buggy, and it's like, I'm sick of my old captain, I want to join you.
Right.
So Buggy's like, oh, okay, sure, that's fine. And they put Luffy in a cage and everything like that.
That's what it was. She said she was sick of.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember like what she told.
What she told Buggy.
Yeah.
For that
and you're right. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then once she joins Buggy and everything, he throws a party for her. Right. And then we get the introduction of Buggy.
I was underwhelmed.
Really?
I don't know. Like, it's a giant cannonball. Like, I feel like that's what happened. Like, I don't know. I don't see anything special about it. It's not creative, in my opinion.
I guess, it's a cannonball, but also, like, the destructive power that thing had on the town, like,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I feel like in any series, if you had this giant cannonball, that's what would happen. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Buggy's Ball didn't do it for you?
No, it didn't.
After that we get like kind of like we have some of the pirates on Buggy's crew telling Nami to shoot the Buggy Ball at Luffy, and she's kind of having an internal debate there.
Yeah, and then we get Zoro and Buggy. They start getting into a fight. It kind of goes into that, and we get introduced to the Chop Chop fruit.
Yes.
This is when I started liking Buggy. I like his devil fruit power. Yes. It's really cool. It's like I don't know. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and watching it on 4Kids, and I got to see Buggy's fruit, and I liked Buggy's devil fruit better than I liked Luffy's. And I thought the Chop Chop fruit was really cool.
It's really cool.
You can't get like hurt by like slashing attacks, and Zoro finds this out the tough way because Zoro thinks he chopped him in half. And then Buggy's like pieces fall to the ground, and then Buggy has like a knife fly towards Zoro, and like it stabs him right in the side.
Right.
I really liked Buggy's ability. I think it's very, very interesting, and just kind of exploring the space with what you could define as a superpower here.
Right. So, I love it. It's a great. I think I agree with you. I think I like it more than Luffy.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't even really know why. It's just maybe it's more unique.
So it was interesting, like in the beginning I wasn't into Buggy, but then as the episode and I started learning more about his power, then I started liking him.
Yeah, and this kind of introduction, like you said, to his ability, but later on in this arc, we'll get more of an introduction into his backstory, and he actually does have some ties with Red Hair Shanks.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we jump to the episode.
This episode, it was the beginning of Luffy, Zoro, and Nami's partnership, kind of in a way, because I know Nami, she's kind of reluctant to say that she's part of their crew, but we're starting to see them team up and like help each other out.
Yeah. Well, I think that really did shine through for Nami here when it was the Buggy Pirates telling her to fire the cannonball at Luffy, and she was like really struggling with it.
She was so conflicted because she knew all of them were pirates. She hates pirates, but I think she's seen that Luffy is different.
Yeah, she knows that he's not regular.
Yeah, and she sees it, and she doesn't know what to do in this situation. Yeah, for sure.
So, kind of just to end out that episode, like Buggy ends up sending one of his knights at Luffy in the cage. Luffy grabs it with his mouth, and breaks the knife with his mouth. So, introduction to Luffy's crazy strong jaw strength here.
I know someone with a stronger jaw. hit to it later.
Yeah.
Arc.
It hit which, yeah, Luffy, he definitely has some chompers on him.
Yes.
And then just the end of the episode was Luffy ends up Zoro ends up flipping the buggy ball against Buggy.
Yep.
Cannon fire goes off, and that concludes the end of episode 5.
It was a good episode.
Which, yeah, and we get to see like the Stripe crew, like, or at least Zoro, Nami, and Luffy beginning to work together and being like an actual team here.
Yes.
Episode 6, Desperate Situation, Beast Tamer Moji versus Luffy. I did enjoy this episode. It wasn't my favorite out of the whole arc here, but it was interesting kind of seeing how the Stripes were coming together, and we kind of get a backstory for a character that is newly introduced, Shushu the dog.
Yeah, I think that he was my favorite character for the whole episode.
Shushu?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shushu's adorable.
His backstory is what kept me interested in the story, to be honest.
It's interesting. You wouldn't think you'd be interested in a dog's backstory, but it's really heartfelt. And, like,
it is. I think I cried. I'm pretty sure I remember my eyes watered up. Like I didn't bawl or anything, but I did feel an emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like the whole relationship with like Shushu and like his owner and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really touching. To start the episode, we kind of have Zoro picks up Luffy in his cage and runs him out of there, and he has like that wound in his side from Buggy, and
we start seeing Zoro's handicap, and you brought this up to me because I've seen, obviously, again, we've seen a little bit ahead, and it starts becoming a theme that Zoro's constantly injured, and Chris has told me that doesn't lighten up. That pretty much is a reoccurring theme of the story. So this was just another example of
that happening. Yeah. And there's actually been a lot of debate between the One Piece community about who would win a fight, Luffy or Zoro.
Interesting.
And I feel like Oda continuously puts a handicap on Zoro. So in any fight that he has, it's like Zoro can't really go all out because he's already previously injured.
Which is interesting because it does make me question
is he
stronger than Luffy? And I'm almost on that. I haven't read everything and seen everything, but from what I have seen so far, I would argue that he is.
Yeah, it's very, very close. And really, you would need to see like the actual fight come up with it. So
my thoughts may change.
Yeah, as they will do throughout the whole course of the series. It's kind of funny. So Luffy's in the cage. Nami ends up stealing back the key, and then Shushu eats it.
Yes, you get that classic. The dog eats the thing you need, and then you need to wait for it to poop it out, and you're like sitting there watching and trying to figure out how to get this key out. Yes.
Yeah. So once he does eat the key, we get that whole backstory between Shushu and his owner.
It was really heartfelt. It just made me think like, I want an animal to do that for me. Except I wouldn't want them to like spend their life after I die, but like just to know that this animal loved me that much. Yeah. That I made that big of an impact on the animal.
I felt a lot of inspiration from it's that one movie that was based off reality where it was that Japanese man who would take the train every day, and his dog would always meet him at the train station once he got off the train. But then one day he died, and
I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Okay. I wish I knew the name of the movie, but it's like kind of a famous story with the dog and his owner.
I'm sure if anyone knows of the movie that Chris is trying to describe, yes, please leave it in the comments.
So while Luffy's kind of waiting for this whole thing to happen, Buggy gets up and he tells one of his right-hand men, Beast Tamer Moji, to go finish off Luffy. And Beast Tamer Moji gets his lion Richie, which is a pretty terrifying beast, like kind of big, not really traditional lion colors. It's like purple and silver.
So it's interesting. I really liked Lion Richie. Like I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Like I don't know. There was something about him. He kind of almost had a comedic factor to him a little bit. Beast Tamer. I was just kind of like, I don't know.
You liked his lion more than you liked the Beast Tamer.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm an animal person, so maybe that's why. But his character was just like kind of a side extra character. To be honest, I really didn't care about.
No, I'm kind of on the same ship now. I remember 4Kids when I first watched it because I was a really big animal kid, and I was like, oh, I want a beast. I thought Beast Tamer was so cool because he had that massive lion. But now I kind of see him, and I'm like, ugh, he's just kind of annoying, and he thinks he's all that when he's really not.
Yeah. And then you get Luffy kind of he defends Shushu. He kind of teams up with Shushu because of his Historian is basically he's defending Shushu against them.
Yeah.
Because they're basically kind of like tormenting the
Well,
dog,
yeah,
right?
because they break into Shushu's owner's business, which is like a pet food like business, and they kind of burn it.
Yes, you're
and
right.
then Luffy sees this, and then he helps Shushu and like kind of defends him. And,
Yeah, it was mean.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Luffy, teamed up with Shushu, and I think this is then when Shushu decides that he likes Luffy and his crew.
Oh, most definitely. We get like a really cool shot of Luffy like taking down Beast Tamer Emoji and like planting him into the ground, which is I really did enjoy that.
And then we start seeing Nami express her hate again for pirates.
Yeah, because she sees the shop on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And so again, you see that she's really conflicted.
Yeah, and she really just hates them, and she tells Luffy she hates him too. And then Luffy kind of picks up a dog food bag and brings it over to Shushu, and Nami kind of gets the picture there. But adding to Nami's breadcrumbs, and actually I believe this happened in the last episode.
Yes, it did, and you just forgot to talk about it.
Yes, Nami actually drops a figure, and she says she needs 100 million berries. She doesn't say what it's for. She says it's kind of like a secret, but it's interesting. We get this figure, and we're like, what does she need these 100 million berries for?
Yeah, I remember. I was just like I felt almost like she was greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like she seemed money hungry.
She comes off very much like
yeah, so I was starting to like her character. I was like not really sure because you could tell she was conflicted, and I was seeing there was definitely I could tell something happened in her life for why she hated pirates so much, but I wasn't understanding what the money stuff was to do.
I think she even says she lost someone important to her to pirates.
Yes, but again, I just didn't get where the money related to this, and so I was just kind of like, she's a little greedy.
She comes off that way.
Yeah. But obviously, I don't feel that way anymore.
After we kind of get Nami's whole expression there, then we get the buggy ball hits the building where Zoro's resting in. But Zoro survives no trouble.
Yeah,
and the
handicap.
Silly.
Just confirming that again.
The mayor actually had a funny line here, which once the buggy ball hit, he was like, no one could have survived. He doesn't even check on Zoro. He's just like, whatever, he's dead. Who cares?
It's like, no, Zoro's alive.
It's like, Mayor, you have no idea who these guys are.
Yeah, and Luffy ends up saving the mayor from the buggy.
Yes.
From
Buggy. From Buggy in general, and he ends up saving the mayor by, the mayor charges off to, like, go fight Buggy.
Yes, you're right.
And then Luffy stops him by, like, knocking him out.
Right. Because the mayor basically almost got inspired by all of this happening. He's like, I'm going to stand up to Buggy. I'm not taking this. And then Luffy's like, no, dude, you're going to die. So he felt the only option to save him was to knock him out.
Mm-hmm. Which I agree with Luffy there.
100%.
The mayor would
I would have done the same thing if I had powers like that. So.
Yeah. Episode 7, Swordsman Zoro versus Acrobat Kabaji. And really, that's the name of the episode really is what the episode is. Most of it's the fight between Zoro versus, and I believe Kabaji is Buggy's right-hand man. There's kind of some contention over who is there, whether it's Beast Tamer Emoji or Acrobat Kabaji.
Yeah, I got a little confused why we had two different
second right-hand men.
Yeah, I almost felt like Oda should have just picked one for this episode. Or
both are interesting, but
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really that interested.
You weren't that impressed by Acrobat Kabaji?
I thought like his acrobatic performance-y skills I guess were kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
But again, I was just underwhelmed. I almost would have rathered if it was just Kabaji and the lion.
Okay. Yeah, or you mean Moji?
No, Kabaji.
So like Kabaji and Lion Ricky.
Yeah, because I liked the performance.
Yeah.
It's like circusy. So I liked the performance, and then lions are kind of part of the circus. So it would have been cool if they had them.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
If I was the writer of this, that's what I would have done and just cut the other guy out. I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah, you don't think there needed to be two?
No, I don't.
Well, yeah. But yeah, Acrobat Kabaji is interesting. He has 1.5 million tricks. He's on a unicycle.
Yeah.
He has swords play. He can breathe fire. He throws tops, and he does a acrobatic type fighting thing here.
Yeah, big performance fighting.
Huge performance. Yeah.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
And Zoro actually has a really funny quote here. He says, "If I lose to someone like you with minimal injuries, I wouldn't be much of a pirate." And he kind of pisses off Kabaji with that.
Yeah. Well, I would have been mad if Zoro couldn't defeat Kabaji, to be honest. Like I said, I just felt like, I don't know.
Whatever.
I honestly would have just rathered seeing Buggy fighting them more.
Yeah?
I don't know. I just was Their characters just were,
Throwaway.
yeah.
And they really didn't give the Straw Hats too much trouble
Right.
here. Yeah, so we kind of have that whole
And then,
fight scene.
yeah, and you have you see Nami. She uses her boobs, so like her appearance, to steal back treasure and trick like.
Oh yeah,
people protecting
yeah, and I
so.
thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
it
it
won't be the
was.
first time Nami does
Yes.
that. They're like,
Gotta use what we have as
Yeah,
women.
sexuality.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Nami steals back the treasure. Yeah, Luffy tells Buggy
Buggy's
his plan.
plan,
Buggy ends up telling Luffy that he actually resembles Shanks.
Yeah.
And Luffy's kind of like, how do you know Shanks and everything like that? And Buggy reveals that him and Shanks actually used to be pirates in training together.
Yes.
So
and he refuses to tell Luffy where Shanks is located.
Yeah.
So it was very like, oh, you remind me of Shanks, but I'm not going to tell you much more right now.
yeah,
Like,
and we kind of feel that Buggy doesn't like Shanks,
Yes,
and like
yes.
he says that at the end of the episode, like he hates Shanks, and he thinks he's like
yeah, he expresses his
yeah.
hate for Shanks.
It's like I really don't like
and
him.
he definitely recognizes the hat,
Oh yeah,
and he purposely slices it.
yeah.
Just
Well, he
to
stomps
upset,
on it,
yeah.
slices it. Yeah.
Just to upset Luffy,
Mhm.
because he was connecting the dots here.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. And we get an actually interesting line where Buggy says, or Luffy first says that hat's my treasure, and Buggy's like, no, treasures are gold, diamonds, and jewels. So it's interesting where different people define what their treasure is.
Yes. Yeah.
And for some it's materialistic, and for others it's more representational.
But yeah, I remember in this episode, I was just like, I wonder what Shanks did to Buggy to make him hate him.
Yeah.
And
Because Shanks is such a laid back guy.
and we find out in the next episode, I believe, why. And I just thought it was kind of
Yeah,
silly.
it doesn't.
like it
really
makes
match up.
sense, but at the same time, I'm like, dude,
You wouldn't hate someone for
yeah,
that.
like if you
Mhm.
thought about it logically, like. But we'll talk about that more next.
Short episode.
Yeah, it was a really short episode. So
Yeah,
there's
it was
not
nice
too
and
much
quick.
to
A lot
say.
of it was just more fighting than
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
Episode 8, Who is the Victor? Devil Fruit Power Showdown. And I like this episode. It's kind of like the conclusion to the whole arc here.
Yeah, we get that Buggy feels that Shanks stole his riches
Yeah.
at the bottom of the sea from him. So we go into Buggy's flashback
Yeah.
of him and Shanks.
Yeah, and we get like a nice little backstory
Yeah.
here. And they're on someone's pirate ship while they're in training. I know whose pirate ship this is.
Which I don't.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
so
later
I'm
on
kinda
you'll
like,
see.
I want to know
I know,
now.
it's very interesting. We
No
have to
spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers yet. No spoilers in the comments. But we kind of get like a scene of Buggy and Shanks arguing over which sea is colder, the North Blue or South Blue, which will pop up 800 episodes later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so strap in. It's going to be a
Yikes.
long time. It's going to be more than 800 episodes. I'm going to go
Oh,
lie.
really?
But yeah, so we kind of get Buggy and Shanks. They're on like this
Yeah.
pirate crew
And
together.
we basically learned that Buggy never wanted to eat the devil fruit.
Yeah, Buggy never wanted
Which
to.
I was not expecting that. I figured that everyone wanted to have
Yeah.
devil fruit powers.
It's
I don't know
interesting.
why. I guess maybe because I would want to.
Yeah, well, I 100% would too, and it would suck losing the ability to swim, but it's interesting how many people in the beginning are like, oh, devil fruit, I would never want to eat one
Right.
of those. It gives you
Right.
like an awesome superpower.
Yeah, so basically, like, we get kind of like a scene of Buggy, he tricks his pirates into, like, thinking that he ate the devil fruit.
Yep.
And then he decides he's gonna go and sell the devil fruit.
Yeah, because you can
And-
sell them for really
Yeah,
high
and then
prices.
Shanks ends up like startling him on accident, and then he gets startled and he accidentally eats the pineapple
Yeah,
devil fruit.
the whole
And
devil
then
fruit.
he gets very angry because he realizes he just ate the devil fruit, and then he falls into the water, and then it takes a minute, and Shanks realizes that he ate the devil fruit,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh no, he's gonna drown, he's in water, and goes and saves him. And yeah,
And this is why Buggy.
and this is why Buggy gets mad, and I just thought it was like, dude, like
Yeah,
I get it because you wanted
The
your
treasure.
goal was to get the treasure at the bottom of the sea, and now you can't
Mhm.
do that because of the devil fruit power. You can't
Yeah.
be in the water, so I get it. But to blame it all on Shanks,
After he saves your life from drowning, and you were trying to do something kind of scuzzy against your crew, stealing devil fruit and selling it, it's like you can't get mad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know how I just feel like his hate
He's bitter for
isn't-
no reason.
Yeah, his hate
Yeah.
isn't valid in
Yeah.
my opinion.
No, and I definitely side with you on that. I think that Buggy's being a little over dramatic there.
Yeah.
One thing I did find interesting is actually in that flashback, Buggy asks Shanks to join his crew, and Shanks is kind of like, no, I'd rather take my own path. But
Oh yeah,
they're
you're right.
buddy. They're friends.
Yeah, you do. You get a like friend vibe.
Yeah, a camaraderie.
Immediately, I got that vibe, and I'm starting to see. I'm like, these devil fruits are kind of just laying out.
Yeah, well,
They're kind of
they
accessible.
seem like it in
I'm
this.
like,
yeah,
huh?
they definitely seem like it. Like one's just on top of a bar,
Yeah.
Buggy just kind of has one
Yeah,
from
I'm
getting
like,
down the other ship.
Wouldn't they be more hidden?
Yeah,
I feel like?
later on they kind of become more hidden and kind
Oh,
of
okay.
not, but,
So
yeah,
it
it's
happens
just
in the
this,
beginning.
Yeah,
It seems like they're a little bit.
just laying around.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, a
Interesting.
bit.
Interesting
Yeah.
choice there.
And Shanks actually
It's
does
funny
say,
though.
yeah, well, for both Luffy and Buggy,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
It's
there,
kind
but.
of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Shanks actually says that devil fruits are incarnations of sea devils. And it's interesting because anytime someone kind of gives a backstory or something to devil fruits or gives more like explanation of them this early on, I always take note of it because the origin of these are still really wrapped up in
Oh,
mystery.
really?
Yeah, so we're kind
I'm
of
so
don't
excited
even
to
really
get more
know
into this.
who makes them or where they're
Right.
coming from or how they even hold this power.
Okay.
Which we do get more information later on.
So
but
is there
nothing
like a
on
lot of like theories and speculation behind
There
this?
are.
Oh, okay.
There's quite a bit.
So as I
Yeah.
get going, I'll probably start getting these
Yes.
thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and as of right now, guys, currently in the manga, we're on chapter 978, which is
Oh.
yeah. And we have some information, but
that
we
seems
still
so
have a lot
long
to
from now.
reveal.
So I'm like over here like.
Yeah, it's still mysteries.
Yeah, now that I'm starting to watch this, he watches a lot of podcasts. So
Yeah.
he has to make sure he has headphones in so that
So
I don't
spoil
hear
anything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Because
Now I
something almost got
actually
spoiled.
so
Oh my
because
God.
now I actually kind of know the characters and names, and you don't want anything.
Yeah, to get through the
revealed to
cracks.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So then we get Buggy versus Nami and Luffy, and
Yeah.
Nami joins
Yeah.
Luffy's crew.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Buggy chasing after Nami because he sees that she stole his treasure and him kind of like fighting Luffy and stuff. And Buggy does a move called Chop Chop Raid where he chops up all of his bits and he starts flying around. And then like he goes to reconjoin himself, but he's only able to make Chibi Buggy, and it's just like Buggy's head,
Chibi
his
Buggy!
arms, and his little feet.
He's so cute. I
Yeah,
wish
like,
he could just
hey.
stay like this. I love this version of him.
Yeah, he's really funny. Nami's actually really smart for this because
Yeah.
she ties up all of his other body parts so he can't like reconjoin them. And then Luffy just bazookas him away, and he can't really do anything against this. I thought that was a really funny scene and just like a good teamwork between the two there.
Of course.
Yeah, so once Luffy does that, the villagers show up, they get their mayor back conscious, and they're like, what happened? And Luffy's like, well, I knocked the mayor out. And they're like, why'd you do that? And he's
they're
like,
all
well, I'm
mad.
a pirate.
Yeah, so then they're all like, you're a pirate, you knocked the mayor out, what's going on? And so then, they're basically like, we need to get out of here.
Mhm.
And Shushu ends up actually keeping a whole village
A whole angry mob from
going after Luffy and his crew. And me and Chris
with
were
the
like,
power of
really?
barking.
This little tiny dog, all he did was go, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," and they're all like, oh,
So,
We're gonna
Shushu,
stop.
get out of the way.
yeah. They're like, Shushu, get out of the way. And Shushu's like, no.
Yeah, and Shushu doesn't
and,
let them.
and then they're just like, okay.
Yeah, and they just kind of don't, they give up their, oh, darn.
It's either they're just like kind of like wimps,
Yeah.
or it just shows that the village really
Respects
respects
Shushu.
Shushu.
I think it's more of that because we did
Yeah,
get that whole
I
backstory
agree.
with
I
Shushu and his
agree.
owner and everything. Yeah.
And then you kind of get, you flash to Nami, and Nami is mad because the treasure isn't on the ship with them.
Yes.
And Luffy basically tells him, oh, we left the 5 million.
Yeah,
The
but
village.
Luffy's kind of nice because he
Yeah.
leaves back the 5 million to help the village rebuild after Buggy
Right.
shot his cannonballs all
Exactly.
over the place.
Destroyed their village with
Yeah.
these buggy balls.
Shot his balls all over their town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the mayor wakes up. He's kind of like, no one talk bad about the Straw Hats. I'm the only one who's allowed to talk bad about those people. He runs down and he like thanks them, and they're sailing off.
But Nami, she gets mad about it. She
Yeah,
gets,
she
I
gets
remember
very
here,
angry.
I'm like, how could you be so mad? Like, this
Yeah.
poor village needs this money.
Mhm.
Why are you being greedy? Again, at the time, I didn't understand, so she just looked greedy to me. But then, when
When we do get the reveal for her,
I
we kind of understand a lot more why that 5 million was really important. Yeah, so really, I did enjoy the arc. What were your thoughts on like the whole thing, like overall?
Yeah, no, I really liked this arc. Again, it was another short arc. I think it was better though than the first story arc. The first story arc was more lighthearted and just kind of like an introduction, where this was more getting into backstories.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated the Luffy and Shanks backstory.
Yes.
That was my favorite. Episode 1 was my favorite of the whole arc. But I did really enjoy learning more about Shanks and Buggy's relationship.
That was really interesting, and kind of just getting that backstory between the two, and that, what is this? What is like one of Shanks's friends doing here in Orange Town of all places?
So those are like the two things that I got out of this arc that I'll definitely keep with me throughout.
Yeah.
So.
Moving on from there, the next arc that we are about to cover is going to be Syrup Village. We get the introduction of some very interesting characters. We get a new antagonist and everything like that. And we will start building this crew up a bit more.
Yeah. So until next time, One Piece out. Psst, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.